And it's been a minute.
Hey, it's been a long minute, but we just wanted to tap in with you guys on this Tank Day.
Yeah.
See how everybody's doing. How you guys feeling about the fights? We just want to let you guys know that I know it's been a minute. A lot of things have changed for us. We got a little champion now.
A little strong champ, but
she definitely strong.
But what hasn't changed is being locked in on this fights on the weekends.
We ain't never stopped watching the fights, so we just want to let y'all know that.
Yeah, but we bought back to talk a little bit about this card we got lined
about this Tank card.
But to talk about it a little bit of who's fighting.
So we got Gervonta Tank Davis versus who? Lamont Roach Jr.
Okay, so that's the main card. That's the main event.
Yep.
And would you say you're most excited to watch that one?
I would say, I mean, whenever Tank's in the ring, I'm always gonna be excited to watch him because he's a spectacular fighter. Is it the fight that I wanted to see Tank fight? Absolutely not. I mean, there's so many other fights that we want. This wasn't one that we asked for. There's nothing against Lamont Roach. I really like Lamont Roach. I've been following him for a long time. When he went against Jamel Herring, I was rooting for him. But was it the fight we asked for? No.
And this is the second one back to back, right? That he brings up from 130.
No, because he fought Frank Martin last.
That's right. Okay. But yeah, I mean, Lamont Roach, he's a good fighter. A champ at 130.
Yeah.
But do you think it's gonna end up a knockout for Lamont? Another one to the pocket.
All right, let me just say this about Tank. About Lamont. A lot of people are, have a lot to say about Lamont because they're not as familiar with him. But it takes nothing away. Like I said, this isn't the fight that people wanted, but it takes nothing away from Lamont Roach as a fighter. He's a great fighter. He's a champion, and for him to become a champion after losing his first title bout against Jamel Herring. And to now come and to then beat Hector Garcia and become the champion, is definitely something. It's definitely something spectacular.
No, but they did fight also in the amateurs, right?
Yeah, they did fight in the amateurs, but that was a long time. I think Lamont said he was like 16 years old. And that's different. When you got the headgear and big gloves, it's a lot different. But Lamont Roach, like I said, he's a great fighter. So
yeah, and I mean. He is now kind of to go a little bit based off him getting that belt from Hector Garcia. Yeah. Would you say that we know he's a good fighter, but do you think Hector Garcia was at his best when he was fighting at that fight where he lost to Roach?
A lot of people say like, oh, he hasn't been the same. So the only person that I really know that is Hector Garcia. So I don't really want to get into that. What I will say is, it was a great performance. I think they gave him like a split decision, but I didn't think it was a split decision. I thought he clearly won the fight. Lamont Roach, when it comes to, him, he's got the skills. I feel like he's a complete fighter. He's got good defense. He's got a good jab. He's got, he can fight at both distances, at all distances. But, what it comes down to is you got to be, when you're fighting Tank, you got to be sharp, from round 1 to round 12. And we've seen Lamont Roach, be hurt by other fighters lesser that have less power than Tank. So I think that's going to be the main factor in this fight. Tank, because Tank, all it takes is 1 second and you'll be out of there.
Yeah, like that. Don't go get, or you better have your popcorn right there with you because if you blink, it's a wrap. But
I was just gonna say that's the only thing. That's the only thing I see with Lamont Roach's game is just he is lacking the power. Even though he's been talking about I'm gonna knock out Tank, which is crazy to hear. But
but if he gets it done,
it would be amazing. And at the end of the day, it is boxing, and anything can happen.
But I don't think that's gonna happen tonight. I can't even say for sure because, like you said, you never know. But yeah, I mean, it's cool to see. I wouldn't say that I'm most excited about that card, if I'm being pretty honest. There's another fight that I'm excited to see that has potential to be the fight of the night, I would say. Which is Rayo versus.
Now that's the fight. You asked me before. Like, oh, are you excited for that? This is the fight I want to see. This is the main event fight. I've been following both. Well, we've both been following both fighters. Gary Antoine is man.
He's a dangerous fighter.
He's a dangerous fighter. He comes from a boxing family. Also, Lamont Roach comes from a boxing family too.
His dad,
But the Gary Russell brothers, they be getting it in, champions. I was, when the fight got announced, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little disappointed.
I was gonna say you felt type of way about it. I mean, it's a great fight, but you had some points on there.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed just for the fact that after he lost his previous fight against Alberto Puello, who's also on the card. And for him to get this other jump back in the opportunity with Rayo, I was like, dang, I know there was probably some other people that were in line, for him to kind of skip the line. And it takes nothing away from Gary Antoine being a good fighter. I actually thought he was gonna beat Alberto Puello. So
like we said, it's boxing, you never know.
And I'm always gonna be pro unification. Like I want to see, because I want to see who's the best in the division.
So would you say you would have rather watch Antoine Rayo versus Puello on this one, or the rematch with Antoine and Puello?
I mean, I would have liked that because, like I said, I just feel like there's just too many belts, and I want to see who the best is.
So want Puello.
I would have liked to see a unification. I'm always gonna prefer a unification. But if I take the unification away, this fight on paper is amazing. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And I think it's gonna be a banger for sure.
Yeah.
The only thing is, I would say this is is it Rayo's second fight at 140?
Yeah, I believe.
Right?
Yep, second.
And this is low key his real fight at 140, because last one when he won the belt was with
Pitbull.
Yeah, and he's low key kind of a 135, they
moved up. Yeah.
So
stocky dude.
I'm excited to see this. I feel like, again, it's gonna be a banger fight. I do think that Antoine is gonna probably take the win on this one. Okay. I like both fighters, but I just feel like he's gonna have more of a power on this fight.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because we've seen Rayo. We've seen Rayo, we saw him in there with your boy.
Which one?
Yeah, your boy that fought Shakur.
Oh, De Los Santos.
And he was hurt in that fight, and it pretty bad. And for
him, he did hurt him too.
He did hurt him too, because we do know that he has power also. But I think that is gonna play a factor, just because he hasn't been at that division that long, like you said. This being his second fight, and then you got Gary Antoine, who's been in the division for a long time and hurting true 140 pounders. I think that's definitely going to be a big factor in this fight. I will say this, Rayo, ever since he's been getting with Robert Garcia, hey, that man been boxing his ass off.
Right. I was going to say, do you think they're going to bang it out? Do you think Rayo is going to, or did he learn from De Los Santos to where you got to sometimes put the cojones back in a little bit?
Yeah, but I think it'll eventually end up being a fight. I think it's going to be a little bit harder for him to box Gary Antoine like he did Pitbull, because just for the simple fact that Gary Antoine brings a little bit more than Pitbull. He brings athleticism, and he's a lot bigger. Like I said, he's got more of a power. I feel like he got more power, and I think that will be like I said, I think that'll be a factor. But I think he's gonna try to get in there and box, but I think that Gary Antoine got some. He puts that pressure on you.
Yeah.
But you never know how Gary Antoine may come out, because he's been talking about, I want to show I got more of my tools. I just haven't had a chance to bring them out. So it's gonna be an amazing fight. A lot of people feel like it can go either way. But I lean more towards you as well. I think that Gary Antoine is gonna actually get the job done against Rayo, even though I mess with both of them.
Yeah.
But I think I just think that's what's
I just want to see a great fight. I don't care who wins in this fight. I just want to see a good fight. Antoine's second time to go for that belt, so we'll see what happens. But I see somebody said they're excited about the J-Rock.
Let's see. Let me see her too. Yeah, J-Rock. Hey, I'm gonna say this about J-Rock. J-Rock's been one of my favorite fighters to watch. Also, he comes from that. He got that Philly background. He got the skills to pay the bills. The only thing when it comes to this fight, the only thing that's kind of held him back a little bit is his chin. Honestly, like.
What you mean?
His chin hasn't held up. He's been knocked out, a few times, but kind of leading up and before the knockout, he's always doing well. He's taking on a prospect in Tejas, and I will say is Tejas. One thing about him, he definitely has power. But if J-Rock can, if he can withstand the power, J-Rock could walk out of there with a decision. I mean, he is a previous unified champion. that was one of my favorite fights when he fought Jarrett Hurd, who's also on the card.
Yeah.
Like that was one of my favorite performances. And so, you know, you never know. You know, he could turn back the clock and give us one of those performances. So I'm excited for that fight too.
Okay, yeah, it should be good. But yeah,
it should be
excited to watch the
fun.
fights tonight. We'll be back with some recaps.
Yeah, we definitely gonna be back with the recaps. Like I said, you know, we just getting back in the swing of things. So bear with us. This is our first time going live, so we definitely want to do some more live so we can kind of see, you know, trying to chat with you guys. Let's see who we got. Let's see who we got. Let's see. All right, banger card. Jasmine, what's up? Let's see. All right, Nicholas. All right. Yeah, so
should be a banger.
Should be a banger. That's pretty much all we got. We can't wait to be back with the recaps. We can't wait to watch these fights. And that's all we got. So
yeah,
thanks.
Just make sure you guys here with us on live. We'll try to put the schedule of when we'll be going in live so you guys can tune in. Talk to us, let us know what you guys thought about the fights. And right now let us know who you guys think are gonna win the fights. Just kind of, you know, get in with us on this live and let us know what you guys are thinking. What do you guys want us to talk about? And yeah, we're excited to be back and do these recaps.
Let's do it. But that's all we got. So thanks for tuning in, y'all.
All right, then.
And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Or what else?
Oh, talk yo shit.
And we out. I think we out.